out there, what is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's well, feeling fantastic, in excellent spirits. Obviously, a late start for me as it's almost 10 o'clock, and in 1 hour is going to be the podcast, the live podcast, delivering everything that's happening in the latest and greatest in the toy department of life called sports. And my apologies for the tardiness, late start, something that I could not control, unfortunately, but I'm here now. So as I try to decompress from that, get locked in, get focused for this next 55 minutes here on this chat, and then for the 5-minute break to finish the setup and then get ready to rock and roll for the live podcast from 11 to 12. And I tell you, as we are now just a week away from getting out of the doldrums of this sports dead zone, and listen, this week has been on and popping. Val, welcome. This week has been busy, and I know you've sent me the Instagram stuff. Nah, if anything, I'm late. I usually start at 9:45. I like to start at 9:30, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, today I couldn't get the live started at 9:45, so I'm starting right here before 10 o'clock my time, and I'll go up to about the latest 10:55, because then, of course, I have the podcast afterwards. But there is a lot to unpack, and yesterday on the live stream, you're going to hear me talk about some of the things that have been highlighted throughout the week. Obviously, the Max Crosby trade, the NFL stuff, which I'm actually going to lead with. I figured, let me lead with that, just like I did so yesterday. So I'll touch on all that. And now it's going to start to die down, although you still have two players that are out there that are a little bit intriguing, depending on how you look at it, as to where they're going to go next. So I will unpack that on top of what is happening in the NBA, 2 days removed now, or a night and a half removed from the Bam Adebayo disaster in Miami. And I know a few people got on my case in the comments from the excerpt of the live stream yesterday that I took out, and I put it up on there, and people were saying, "Oh, you idiot," and "you're dumb," and all. I mean, do we need the insults? And listen, we can disagree all you want, but come on. Crystal, what's happening? Like and sub, and like this wonderful gentleman if you could. Hey! Crystal, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sharks playing Boston today, yes. Absolutely. A homecoming of sorts for Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini. Good one there, Val. But thank you, Crystal, for the kind words. I appreciate that. And I hope everything's going well with your channel, as I hope your subs have increased. And I know I haven't seen a video. Have you posted recently? I'm trying to think. Because usually I get when I go through my feed and I'll see like, oh, certain people posting. I haven't seen anything as I believe. Drews, Gems. How do I feel about Team USA's? Yeah. Drews, welcome aboard. You're welcome, Jay. Drews, to answer your question, how do I feel about that? Listen, Mark DeRose has got to know better. And I tell you, if he's trying to apply for a manager's job somewhere down the road, he certainly did not look good here. Because how are you going to prematurely come out after winning that game against Mexico, what was it, Monday night? And for him to say that, oh, yeah, we already punched our tickets to the quarterfinals, when he knew damn well, I would say he knew damn well, because if he knew damn well, he wouldn't have said that. And I get it, he was on with Matt Vasgersian and Harold Reynolds to the point where I guess he felt comfortable enough that they were already a lock to advance to the quarterfinals. And then I'm sure after saying that comment, he was sweating last night, but thankfully Italy got off to a big start and they went going away, so he didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, that was a terrible job by him. Yeah, absolutely. He lost all of his credibility. That's why if he was, and remember a couple of years ago, I know he wanted to manage and he had a few interviews where obviously he didn't get a job. But after this, and this is Team USA, this is for a week, or really like 12 days, week and a half. And he doesn't know the permutations. And listen, I know I was a little bit confused with the whole tiebreaker. It's not even the run differential. It's the runs, but the recorded outs. It's a little convoluted. But I mean, listen, you got to know that even though his team was 3-0 prior to that Italy game, he's got to know that, well, hey, we win the night we're in. He could have said that instead of thinking that, oh, we already punched our ticket. And even if he didn't know the rule, all he had to do was just say, hey, we win the night. Obviously, we're on to the quarterfinals, as opposed to just automatically thinking that, oh, yeah, we're in no matter what, where if Mexico would have won 4-1 yesterday, that's it. He would have been toast. Done. Out. So, yeah, just a terrible job by him. And then what was the other thing you said? Almost blown the WBC in the group stage. Yeah, I mean, now Italy, you kind of wonder, are they a sleeper team here? They got to be, right? They were 4-0. And listen, I understand 8-6, cosmetically the game looked close, but it was 8-0, that game there against U.S. 2 nights ago. So I'm not 100% sure whether or not the Italians are for real. And we're going to see that now. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fascinating. I think it's going to be interesting. Sarah Elizabeth poo in the chat. Oh, no, that's not good. Yeah, Italy's played great, but now they got to back it up. Now this is big boy territory. And they play Puerto Rico, which is going to be interesting. And Puerto Rico doesn't really have a strong team. I mean, they're resourceful. They're good. Yachty's the manager, we know. And they do have Edwin Diaz as a closer, so they do have a guy that obviously is a big strength there. Italy, I couldn't even tell you who their closer is. I'm sure it's somebody decent. But, yeah, that's going to be fascinating to see. And to me, that's one of the more underlying stories because everybody's going to think of, obviously, U.S. And here we go, another U.S.-Canada matchup, even though it's a quarterfinal, not in a final. When we think back to the Olympics, of course, the hockey. And you have Dominican Republic, Korea. That should be good, but we would think that semifinal, U.S., Dominican Republic, that is going to be lights out. And then if you get a Puerto Rico, Japan, I think that's what people are going to want, even though Venezuela, but I think Japan is loaded and as tough as they are. But I want to see Italy. Now, if Italy goes to a final and they lose, or maybe even to a semifinal for that matter, but to me, by far, they're the Cinderella here because when you look at all the other teams that are still left, Canada too, I'm sure if you looked at the odds, despite that Italy is 4-0, if you rank those teams 1 through 8, let me see if I can do this off the top of my head. All right, you'd say U.S., Dominican Republic. Well, I'd probably say, you can say Japan or U.S. I mean, that's a toss-up. But let's just say, for argument's sake, U.S., Japan, Dominican Republic. And I understand you can interchange those three. I know Puerto Rico had, I think they were 20-1 to win, and Venezuela was 22-1. So those would be the next. Then I would say Korea, Canada, Italy, or maybe Italy, Canada. I don't know, but they're at the bottom. So, yeah, let me see your comments here. Alma Carlisle. Are you on YouTube only and TikTok? I'm also on TikTok too, Alma. U.S. has to get through Canada first, who've been playing. Yeah, no, and they have too. And they beat Puerto Rico. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Orlando Brown. Bengals, yes. Thank you, Val, for the updates as always. Accomplished, yes. Japan definitely number one after U.S. collapsing in that game against Italy. Yeah, that was bad. I know. And Japan, see, the thing about Japan is that you think of Japan, people are only going to think of Shohei Ohtani. But they have very good players. I mean, Munataka, how do you pronounce his name? Yeah, Munataka, the kid that signed with the White Sox. From what I've read, I haven't watched any of the games with Japan. I hear he's had an excellent tournament so far. And I know he hit a big home run, and Ohtani's Ohtani. But, yeah, people here in the U.S., and yeah, Suzuki, absolutely. The people here in the U.S., it's funny because I understand that they're the favorites and they have all the talent in the world, but people underestimate how good Japan is. And they've won this tournament 3 times. It's not as if there's some flash in the pan or some team that's, a fluke. Obviously, they're excellent. And Dominican Republic, their lineup is sick. And people could talk about the U.S. lineup, and rightfully so. Absolutely. But, I mean, when you got to get through that murderer's row of Machado, Soto, Guerrero, O'Neal, Cruz, Vladdy. I mean, what did I say? O'Neal, Soto, Tatis. I mean, that lineup is loaded. So, yeah, and let me tell you, U.S. Dominican for a semifinal, that's must watch. Without question. I think it is. And that game's going to be down in Miami. There's going to be more people rooting for Dominican Republic in that stadium for that game, if it just so happens to be that way, than the Americans. And listen, that's not a bad thing. That's not a knock on us, but it's a fact. If you watched that game last night, that Venezuela, Dominican Republic, I mean, obviously you had a lot of Venezuelan representation there, but Dominicans are no joke. They're out here. Was this a good trade? Uh-oh, Val. What do you got? Yeah, let me put up the laptop here to see what we got. For 49ers, Dominican, every time they come to the plate, it's a chance of hitting a home run. You have to beat them off the mound. Yeah, no, and their pitching isn't great. That's the one thing. Their pitching, I mean, it's good, but it's not like, oh, wow, lights out. Yeah, and I got news for you. For a guy, and I understand it's a tournament where there's going to be a lot of flash, there's going to be a lot of flamboyant, histrionics, all that. And for me, an old school baseball head that I am, and I get it's a tournament, so it's a little bit more, it's an exhibition, but over the last, I'd say 10 years, I've warmed up to the bat flips. Now listen, the standing at home and pointing at the dugout and taking 20 minutes to around the bases, I'm not in love with that. But yeah, if you want to bat flip, if you want to pimp the home run, whatever, Cadillac it around the bases, and listen, it's part of entertainment. Oh, that trade. Oh, listen, the Niners are good. They're shrewd for making good trades. And yeah, they traded. I was with the Cowboys. Now you got to wonder why the Cowboys traded him away. I guess maybe for cap issues. But listen, that's just another. That's more depth for your guys because, and he plays D-line with Nick Bosa being hurt a lot over the last few years, and to have more D linemen. Listen, is the guy going to be all pro? No, but listen, it's a guy who has ability and is capable. Yeah, Cowboys do. Considering they're paying Dak a fortune, they're paying CeeDee Lamb a fortune. Now they got to pay Pickens like $37 million or whatever it is because he's been franchised. So, but Drew, I feel you, man. The Cowboys show you the good players. Drews, where are you from? May I ask? But yeah, I'm definitely into this baseball classic. I've been to it more now than I think in any of the years that it's been in. Texas, nice. Now, are you near Houston? Were you able to go to any of those games or no? Longview. What is the closest big city, Longview? To Dallas, to San Antonio, Austin, Houston? Yeah, like I said, I've been wrapped up in it. And I'll talk about the WBC today. I'll talk about the Rose's follies and how the U.S. had to dodge a missile. Maybe I shouldn't say that in this day and age. I know it's a little insensitive. Well, listen, they had to dodge, I don't know, let's say a herd of buffalo. How about that? Yeah, maybe I'll change it to that. 4 hours from Houston, plan on going, or change that. Oh, sorry to hear that. Well, you can still go to the quarterfinal games, right? But then again, it is 4 hours and work. I know it's got to be rough. Pickens used to be a former player for Steelers. Yes, he was, Val. Very good. Yeah, so I'll talk about WBC. I'll start off with the NFL. I got to talk about Bam Adebayo. And I had a lot of people getting in my comments here on the channel about Adebayo, that I'm an idiot, I'm a dummy. You can't score with the clock stopped. I mean, people think that they get to 100 points as if it's nothing. Axel, what's up, my man? People think that scoring 100 points in a game, that's going to happen. People hating on Bam. You know what it is? It's not necessarily him. It's the way that those points were scored. I mean, think about this. He had 43 free throw attempts. And a lot of that is because he was trying to get the ball to him so he's going to get fouled. And then I didn't watch this live because I was watching Celtics Spurs and they cut into that. And when they mentioned that he had 74 points, I was shocked. I went, what? Bam Adebayo, 74 points. And then they cut to it when he was at 81, I believe. Because now 81's the new 100 because of Kobe. And I get that. But, yeah, when you find out that they challenged with less than 3 minutes to go Miami to stop the clock, to give him a blow. They also were trying to get the ball inbounds to him where it was intercepted and taken up for layups. There was another thing that happened along the way. Yeah, so it's not just on him, but come on. I mean, that is, I got to say it. Listen, it's 83 points no matter how you cut it, slice it. I get it. But, I mean, come on. It is a little, it's a little fake. Yeah, scripted. There you go. Thank you. I was trying to find the right words there, and actually, you bailed me out on that. Will Jerry Jones pay George Pickens this offseason? Well, not after you mean next year? I don't know. If he has a monster year, if Jerry doesn't pay him, I'm abandoning ship at that point. Yeah, I hear you. Let me think about that. If he has a year similar to this year, you probably have no choice. You could probably franchise him again, but then you don't want a Le'Veon Bell situation. What do I think about the Chiefs? Listen, we all know that if Mahomes is healthy and they brought in Kenneth Walker, now their line is still a little iffy. Keaton Mitchell signed with the Chargers. Yeah, that guy's pretty quick. He blew out his knee 2 years ago, and then last year he's got some speed there. Sorry, Drews. If oh wait, no, Axel, you asked me about the Chiefs. Yeah, they've lost a couple players here. Leo Chenal. Obviously, they traded away Trent McDuffie. So if Mahomes is healthy, you would think they're going to be in the middle of a playoff push. And I'm not in love with the division. The Broncos, I know they didn't have Bo Nix at the end, especially in the championship game. I see them as a playoff team, but it's kind of hard to figure out what they're going to do defensively. And obviously that offensive line, because we saw the Chiefs, that offensive line was Swiss cheese. Bio. Greetings. Wait, what is that? Did they really get Stephon Diggs? Who did? The Chiefs got Stephon Diggs? No, I don't know. Hold on. Wait. Stand by. No, I didn't hear about that. I don't know. Is he rooming? Listen, I don't know what team's going to touch him right now. I know he's got that legal case over his head right now. Yeah, no, he hasn't been picked up yet. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let me see. Best free agents available. Kyler Murray, Stephon Diggs, Rasheed Walker, Wyatt Teller, Joel Bitonio. Jawan Taylor, Jawan Brisker. Yeah, Kobe Durant. That's the former Ram. But watching Bam was like watching an NBA All-Star game. I could definitely see someone scoring 100 points if they foul on purpose. Makes my stomach turn. Oh, 100%. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that. I talked about that on the live stream yesterday. And listen, Reggie Miller was... Did anybody watch the Celtics Spurs? Especially after they went to Miami and they cut back. And Reggie Miller, as I'm like thinking about what I'm going to say, Reggie Miller actually had the goal to come out to say that, oh, with all the young guns in the league and what we have right now in our sport, somebody's going to get to 100 points. Yeah, I don't know. He's got to be on the crack or something because Reggie, and listen, how can you not love Reggie Miller? But, I mean, think about this. Bam Adebayo scored 31 points in the first quarter. He still needed to score 69 in the next 3 quarters to get 100. And yes, people will say, well, JAYREELZ, he got what? Do the math quick. He got 52. Yeah, well, he still needed 17. Sour Patch Kid. No, I mean, it's just, for anybody to come out and think that to score 100 points, and then I made the comment that if somebody's going to score 100 points, you're going to have to play every minute of the game. And think about it. If you play every minute of the game, you have to average a field goal. You have to average more than 2 points every minute of that game. Because if you averaged a bucket a minute without fouls, without 3-pointers, that's still 96 points. You're still 4 points short. That's number one. Number two, I had people getting at me, oh, you can't score with the clock stopped on the free throw line. I'm like, no, duh. But you can't live on the free throw line, even though he lived on the free throw line that night to where he was, 36 for 43? And even then, even if he made, put it this way, he was 20 for 43. Let's say if he made 2 baskets. Let's say if he made 2 threes and was a little bit over 50% from the field. So he would have been 23 for 43? No, 22 for 43. He would have been at 89 points. He still needed 11 points. Reggie Miller, how could he even think that, somebody's going to get to 100 and break it? I mean, what are we talking about here? And the one person I did say that could break it, now, I don't know if he would have that. The only person I think that could break it right now is Victor Wembanyama. And the only reason is because of his height. Why do you think Wilt got 100 points? He was 7'3". I mean, think about it. Michael Jordan's career high, he scored 69, I believe, against Charlotte. That was his high. And yes, I know Luka scored 73, and Devin Booker scored 70 once, but still. And I think the year, what was it? I think that was the year he had 50. Listen, Wilt averaged 50 points a game. 50. And he scored 100, obviously, against the Knicks 64 years ago. To score 80 points in the fashion that Bam Adebayo did, I understand pretty much anybody could do that, just feeding the ball. And you also got to remember it was against the Wizards on top of that. But it's just like, for people to even think that 100 is a possibility, I mean, come on. If that was the case, somebody else would have done it by now. You mean to tell me Jordan wouldn't have done it? You mean to tell me Kareem wouldn't have done it? You mean to tell me Bird wouldn't have done it? You mean LeBron, Kobe, Michael, going down the list. If Kobe was alive, and that's the thing, God rest his soul, if he was alive, even Kobe probably would have said, nobody's getting 100. Kobe said, look, I got 81, and I still needed 19 points. All right, I see a team scored 201 score. That's a good one, Axel. Oh, wow, Skeen scored 200. That is an excellent question. I mean, it's not a question. I know it's a comment, but I see a team score 200 and one person score 100. I know who scored. Somebody scored 150 last night, and the Heat scored 152 nights ago. But the question would be, is like, would you rather see a team score 200 points or a player score 100? Yeah, if I saw a player score 100 points, I mean, I want it to be legit. I mean, I wouldn't want it to be a thing. And that's the sad part. The sad part is that it's not going to be in an organic, natural flow of the game. Because if that player is scoring 100 points, they're just going to, let's say if a player had 85 going into the fourth quarter. That guy's getting the ball every time he goes down the court. And I would hope that the team that had given up the 85 points to that player is going to play lockdown defense. Because if I'm the coach of that team, I said, that guy is not scoring 100 points on us. He is not. You better defend as if your life depended on it. And you can only hope that it doesn't come in the most artificial, saccharine, whatever word you want to use, because it would just be a joke. Giants 5-2 yesterday, won spring training. Yes. And Barracuda won yesterday. Oh, the AHL team of the Sharks. I like the name of that team, the Barracuda, considering Sharks. They kept it there. Yeah, and so obviously I'm going to touch on that. And I touched on it yesterday, but I'm going to expound on it more, the whole Bam Adebayo thing. So yeah, you got that. So we got WBC, NBA, the NFL stuff. College basketball, we'll talk about the teams on the bubble. Indiana, they're toast after losing. And who's the other team that lost yesterday? Was it Auburn? I think it was Auburn, wasn't it? That lost. And those teams on the bubble, they're done. Now, we got to see about Oklahoma. We got to see about Texas. No, I think it was Texas that lost. That wasn't Auburn. Auburn won. So they are holding out hope. Texas was the team that lost. So those two teams, I think, they're not. Bastien! Greetings. How's things in Hong Kong? Sure, it's a lot warmer than here, even though it got to 80 here in New York on Tuesday. Yeah, college, we're going to see what's happening this weekend with those teams. And then you have selections show. And then Monday, I'm going to lead off with the tournament on the podcast. So that's going to be fun. But that's it. NHL is actually in the weeds. Although the Sabres, man, they are playing lights out. Yes, Big Ten tournament. Yeah, they'll kill Rutgers. I think they should. Good luck to you guys. Hope you guys have a decent tournament. And UCLA's getting in. When do you think Steph Curry returns? Well, he's been out 10 games. I think he's going to be out for like another 5 games. Yeah, listen. How could I say this? I don't want to say that we know Steph Curry's on the other side of the mountain. Put it this way. If here's your mountain and you get to the top and he's on his way down, he is more than halfway down. That's not to say he's stick a fork in him. But you got to wonder, man, all these injuries at 37, I don't care how much training. Listen, LeBron's a freak, as we know. 41, I mean, you're never going to see nobody like him in that regard. But Steph, because the thing with Steph, he's always got to run through screens, run around the court. That is, yes, Kings are in town. I think they would play the Devils tonight. Islanders, and then Rangers, I think, Sunday. Oh, I may have that mixed up. But yes, the rematch tomorrow. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that. Got a new international code. Can watch live TV. Oh, is that right? Good for you. Oh, a new international cable. My bad. Oh, nice. So you could get on with the NBA and all the other sports then, I guess. Bastien. Yeah, but as far as Curry, though, yeah, because his game demands him to run around a lot and his ankles have been obviously abused over the years, you got to wonder if Father Time is knocking on that door. That's not to say he's going to open and let him in, but you really got to wonder how much more time he has left. And as it is, isn't he a free agent after this year? Not that he's going to go anywhere, but he ain't making $50 million next year. Commanders, tight end. Yeah, Commanders. They need a bounce back year. Curry. No, he has one more year. Yeah, next year he'll make 62.6, so he has another year. Oh, RH wants to talk about his guy. I have not known him. I don't know him. RH. Sorry to break the news to you. I would if he wants to talk sports, but he wouldn't know me from a hole in the wall. And why would he want to do a collab with me is beyond me. But listen. Oh, well, is that right, RH? I did not know that. You gave it away. But yeah, so that's what I got here with the podcast, which is going to be at the top of the hour, in a half hour. So please stay tuned for that. What else? Anything else that's oh yeah. Talk curling? Why do you want to talk curling, RH? The other thing I want to say too, and wait, who came out with this comment? I don't want to say I'm glad. Please shave before your podcast. You look like a bum now. I look like a bum. That's insulting. RH, how dare you? But I do need to shave. And I don't really need to shave. I kind of do. But when it's like 6-7 days length, I hate it. How do you feel about the NBA canceling that Magic City night for the Atlanta Hawks? Well, I don't know where they're at, RH. All that matters is you're here, and I believe Val and Bio are here. Or maybe Bastien. It's all good. No, I do not. Let me see. What about on your channel? Do you talk about him? I bet you do. The Reds have been on a winning streak in your lifetime. I know no Hunter Green till July. That's a killer. The right-hander. And your staff is pretty decent too. Well, you got Nick Lodolo and Andrew Abbott and missing another pitcher. But yeah, Magic City. I don't know if you've heard about this, where the Hawks wanted to have a Magic City night, the famed strip club in the ATL, and they wanted to have the lemon pepper wings. If you recall, I think it was when we were coming out of COVID, Lou Williams went there to get lemon pepper wings. So they wanted to have that and have the theme, and the NBA shut that down. And listen, I'm not going to be prude, but I can see why they did that. I mean, you want to have a lemon pepper wing night because of Magic City, that's one thing. But to have Magic, I mean, what are you going to have? You're going to have, instead of cheerleaders or the dancers, you're going to have strippers out there. Now, obviously, they can't strip, but they're going to be in little skimpy bikinis. I mean, come on. Yeah. So, I'm not. Yeah, I don't think that's family fair entertainment, if you ask me. That's an easy one, Val. Why can't he stay healthy? He's getting old. He's getting old. And he's starting to break down. If it's not his wrist or his thumb, it's his ankles. Didn't he have that knee injury earlier this year? I mean, that's it. He's 37. He's not 27. If you could go pro in any sport, which would it be? Oh, that's an easy one, Bastien. When I was a boy, my dream was to be center fielder for the New York Mets, baseball. Baseball's my thing, man. Love it. Baseball, baseball, baseball. Yeah, and the funny thing about Seth Curry, he was a guy that a lot of people thought coming out of Duke he was going to be good. There was a lot of. What about you, Bastian? What sport would you like to play? Hey, Boana, what is happening? Yes, you haven't been feeling well. Oh, God, what have you missed? Missed a lot. All right, I'll give you like just the key points. But before I do that, yeah, Seth Curry, he was a guy that a lot of people thought was going to be a good NBA player. And Steph, come on, he went to Davidson. And it was the other way around. One. Cheers. 1-2, man. I'm good. Buana. NFL news, what can I tell you? Max Crosby was going to get traded from the Raiders to the Ravens, but the Ravens 86 the deal because he failed a physical. And then they signed Trey Hendrickson, the former Bengal defensive lineman. So now he's your pass rusher there moving forward. Trent McDuffie, who got traded from the Chiefs to the Rams, then signed the biggest contract in NFL history for a corner, 4 years, $124 million. You had, there's a million players. Mike Evans go to San Francisco, the former Tampa Bay wide receiver. Let me think. I have a list here. I'm going to give you the ones that are of note. Yeah, Travis Etienne goes to New Orleans. The Steelers have made some moves. That makes PS2's deal look fantastic. Oh, yeah. Oh, Max Crosby wants to stay in the Raiders now. Pitching for the Reds Olympic. Oh, that's good, Bastian. I like that. Nice. Well, I just want to make sure I missed any comments. Yeah, as far as Buana, yeah, the Patriots signed Kevin Byard, which I thought was a good deal as well. And the Chiefs, Kenneth Walker. Miami signed Malik Willis. Yeah, a lot going on. A lot of people, a lot of wheeling and dealing. But now it's going to die down. But I mentioned at the top of this live, there are two players that may not jump off the page, but we are curious to find out where they're going to end up next. And I'm going to talk about that on the live podcast coming out in 23 minutes. So a little suspense for you. Bio, lucky to see Steph Curry in person. Oh, look at that. Nice. And who would have thought he would have become the guy he is today? Literally changed the league. Yes, I heard Max didn't like what Ravens. Yeah, well, that was the thing. I mean, I guess he failed the physical. He had the issue with his knee last year toward the end of the season. And maybe there was something there that was suspicious. So they felt, we're pulling the plug. It's the only thing I could think of. Yes, Val, I'm sure you're happy about Mike Evans there. 3 phases. Yeah, this is part 1. Yeah, you have this now, and then it's going to die down. And the other thing is, too, I know this is even with the NBA, NHL to a certain degree. Baseball, not so much. In fact, not at all. Smoke too much weed? Who knows? Yeah. To alleviate the pain. Does the legal tampering period hurt the curtain being raised on the new season? Because yesterday it was like, hey, NFL's new season, but it's like, yeah, all the big transactions already made. So it's a little anticlimactic. And I also got to talk about, if you haven't seen me rant, I talked about this yesterday, go back to the NFL real quick. I'm going to talk about this Thanksgiving Eve nonsense. And they're exploring it. There's almost no possible way that the NFL can have a game on Thanksgiving Eve. They'll find a way. But it's nearly next to impossible. Yes, Juan, absolutely. Hurts the pageantry to some degree. Yeah, it does. Because when you look forward to that March 11th or whenever this year, March 11th, but every year it differs. And you think to yourself, ooh, yeah, let's see where free agents is going to go anywhere. And then 2 days prior, you're getting all of the transactions and all the activity. And I understand that it's not official until the new season begins. But then why even have a new season? Then just start it Monday. To me, it just kills it. Because people can talk about, well, hey, it's a new season. Well, yeah, you had a million transactions the prior 2 days. So It leaves the cupboard bare, except for 2 players. If you know who those 2 players are, bring them up and I'll tell you if you're correct. Which I'm sure you guys are very knowledgeable and fine-tuned sports fans, so. Players don't mind too much playing on holidays knowing what it brings to the family. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, Buana, there's some truth to that. But here, the Thanksgiving Eve, here's why it makes no sense. I'm going to talk about this on the podcast, but I'll give you, because I talked about this yesterday. The college football season isn't done, so you can't have a Saturday game. And high school, I think, is done by then. What are you going to do? You have a Friday night game? And if that's the case, the Friday before Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving Eve in this case, you got to have 2 games in order for this to happen. Because what are you going to do? You can't have 2 teams play, these 2 teams are going to play Friday, and then they're going to play that Wednesday. You can only do that in the division. And it's unfair to do that. You can't have back-to-back division games. Stuka, what's happening? Welcome. That's number 1. Number 2, you can't play on Saturday because of college football, so that's done. Even the NFL can't overrule that, as big, bad, and as much as they flex their muscles. You're going to have a team that's going to play 1 o'clock on a Sunday, because the games that are on 1 o'clock Sunday, whomever's playing in that window, if they're going to have that Thanksgiving Eve game, they have to play in that window. You can't have a team that plays 4:25 that's going to play Wednesday night. You definitely can't have a team that's playing Sunday night that's going to play Wednesday night, literally 3 nights later, and you talk about player safety? That's a big ha. So how's this going to work? When the NFL had the Christmas Day games, remember, they had the doubleheader. Houston at Kansas City and Pittsburgh at Baltimore. And then on Christmas, what was it, 5 days later? No, 4 days later, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4 days later, it was Baltimore at Houston, Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Like I said, you can't have a Saturday doubleheader. You're going to have it Friday. So you're going to have 2 games on a Friday now. So they're going to play on 2 short weeks. So whoever's going to play Sunday, then they're going to have to play Friday, and then play Wednesday? That's how the NFL is going to do it. Because they can't play Sunday and then Wednesday. And I want to talk about player safety. It's asinine. Fix League's Peace, who always has those great questions. Hang on, I got you. So yeah, for me to say, and I understand hate is a strong word, but for me to say that I hate the Thanksgiving Eve game is an understatement. And think about this. You're going to have almost a third of the schedule, because remember, on Thanksgiving that weekend, they don't play buys. Because again, they have all these mouths to feed. They have CBS, Fox, NBC on Thanksgiving alone, Amazon Black Friday. Now you may have a Thanksgiving Eve game, which they may stream it, who knows? National Geographic Channel? I mean, whatever. You're going to have almost a third of your schedule played before Sunday. You still have a Sunday night game where that has to be marquee. You have a Monday night game, which that has to be somewhat marquee. The 4:25 slot is the America game of the week. You're going to have scraps 1 o'clock on Sunday. Oh, I hate it. The NFL, they get me sick. Can't stand it. And then I have people getting at me, oh, well, if you're sick of it, don't watch. That was more for the NBA with the 3-pointers, but the same could be applied for the NFL too. I hear you, Bastian. I'm sure you're gone by now. I appreciate you all the way from Hong Kong. Thank you, my man. Thoughts on participation medals in youth sports, Vic? Love the question, but I'm sure you know the answer to that. That is a flat-out 0 no. There's no first runner-up, second runner-up, no. Either win or you don't. And if you can't deal with it, tough. NFL Network. You're probably right about that one. It probably will be on NFL Network. Netflix is getting games. Yeah, that'll probably be on Netflix. I know, I kid around with the National Geographic because, put it this way, if National Geographic, HGTV, the Cooking Channel, If they all went to the NFL, knocked on Roger Goodell's door and said, you know what, that Thanksgiving Eve game, we'll give you $2 billion, the NFL would just do like the Chappelle Show skit. They'll roll out the red carpet because the NFL, they're pigs. They are. They're pigs. But then again, all the leagues are pigs too. I mean, NBA, NFL, I get it. But Major League Baseball, but NFL more so. Because they're ruining their product by the second. And they're just jamming these games down our throat. Well, yeah, the NFL, the Thursday night games are terrible. Now, I understand you had a smattering of games last year, that in particular that Seattle Ram game. Sorry, Bye, I hate to bring that up. But yeah, it's Brian Greenwood. Sick of gay boners? I don't know what you're referring to on that. Sick of greedy owners, maybe? I'm okay with participation trophies. Just learn the game because kids don't have coaches. All right, I see where you're coming from with that, Buana, but I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just old school. You play to win, and if you don't win, you don't win. Yeah, and here's the problem with the participation trophy aspect. It just, when you play sports as a kid, that's where you develop a competitive nature. And in doing so, in learning about playing sports, now I understand checkers or whatever, whatever. And I'll give you an example. And I know this is going to be a little twisted. And in 14 minutes, I'll probably get off in about 9 minutes at 55 because I got to set up my mic. Everything's set up, but because there is that component of being competitive, that's where you build the character. That's where you build that, hey, you didn't win today, but that's where you got to improve. That's where you got to get better. That's where you got to, if you want to beat the best or be the best, you got to beat the best. So that's where I think a kid, it's good for them to develop that skill because that's also a metaphor for life. Because you're just not going to be handed anything. You're just not going to be handed a job. You're not going to be handed a particular position. You're not. That's like me. Hey, I've done my podcast for 8 years. Or, hey, I've done live streams for a year straight, 3 times. Where's my money? How come the sponsors aren't knocking on my door? I got to keep working. Got to keep going at it. And that's why the participation trophy has ruined a lot of the youth today because they expected to get handouts. All right, I came in 4th place, but where's my medal? That's why in the pros, you get the Super Bowl ring and then you get the AFC champion ring that the Patriots will get. And you know that sucker gets thrown in the jewelry box because you can't go out with an AFC champion ring. It's like, oh, really? And I get it, they won their conference. It does mean something. But you didn't win the big thing. And here's an example I want to share with you guys. Diggs are 49. You know, I can actually see Diggs going to the Raiders. He came out of nowhere, that bar joke. Oh, I must have missed that, Juan. I'm scrolling up. I want to make sure I got everybody's comments. Yeah, I think Diggs, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Raider. Yeah, you should be happy about Evans. No, I don't think Diggs signed with the Niners. No. Yeah, I just looked. All right, Buana. Yeah, before I get to my example, I agree to some degree, especially with this, let's say, swimming. Yes, I have 1 through 8. I just don't see coaches. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's the thing. The coaches, you know, they may have their own agendas if they have their own kids on the team. And do these kids really coach? You know, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. But here's an example. Now, you see, I grew up, I got to give you a quick backstory. I grew up in a neighborhood where if I was going to play, and we played all types of forms of baseball. We played actual baseball, played softball, but we played stickball, we played punch ball, kickball, stoop ball, anything you can imagine that had to do about baseball. These fingers are bad. No, that's all right. I understand. And Juan, I'll get your comment in a second. But as a kid growing up in the Bronx, 7, 8, 9 years old, I was playing against kids that were 12, 13, 14, even 17, 18-year-old kids. So yeah, I wanted to be accepted with those kids. I wanted to show, hey, I can play too. I didn't want to be the last guy picked on teams. And I get it, there were times I were because this kid's 7 or 8 years old. But no, when they saw me play, I was like, oh, wow, this kid can play. So yeah, I wanted to prove my worth and show. And that's when my competitive nature started. So now here I am. I'm going to be 57 in just a few weeks. And I'll say I've gotten better without being as competitive, but I got news for you. I have a nephew who's 12, and he cheats at times. That's where the Matumbo comes in. I'm like, no. We don't do that here. At least not when you're playing with me. And because of that, I want to annihilate him. And his parents, at times, just let him win. No way. I'm dunking on this kid as much as I can. Because if you play fair and you win fair and square, I give it up. No doubt. But when you're pulling cards or you're trying to change the rules, no. That's it. Now, I'm obliterating you. That's all there is to it. Because that's not going to be tolerated as long as we're playing. You want to do that with your friends? You want your parents to let you win from time to time? Okay, that's them. You're playing with me? Negative. That is not happening on my watch. And I want to make sure that I just keep annihilating you. Right. Because again, metaphor for life. You want to try to beat me? You got to do it fair and the right way. Not by taking shortcuts. And I understand it may be a little twisted, but sorry. Oh, yeah, we take anything. No. Juan, I know I missed that comment. Hold on. Right, play anything. Yes. You love that reference? I agree with that principle as well. Yeah, no, and listen, if you cheat, you cheat. No, that's out the window. Psychiatrist, he told me, yeah, don't get on the phone before going to bed, which I know is a hard thing. That's one thing I don't struggle with. It's time to go to bed, phone goes off. In fact, I put my phone in airplane mode. Why? A little tidbit. Where's my phone? Oh, of course it's on. But I was looking at my other device here too. The reason being is because you don't want to have those electromagnetic fields that close to your brain on your nightstand while you're trying to sleep. And I get it. It's tough because, God forbid, you get a call in the middle of the night or a text or whatever. But yeah, nah, when I go to bed, that sucker's off. I do not go on my phone. And the funny thing is, I don't struggle with falling asleep. The thing is that there are times where, I wake up more so early in the morning and I don't get enough sleep. And I need to go to bed early. I need to go back to my ways of 2013 when I was going to bed like 10 o'clock, waking up at 6, work out, and I feel like I got 100 things done before the day starts. But, that's, and again, I'm a kook. I'm a nut job when it comes to competition. And yeah, like if I'm playing against players that are like, they want to beat me, I'm like, all right. But if it's like a casual game, you're playing Uno, and sometimes the Uno cards aren't falling your way, or hey, pick 4, and I'm like, oh man, it's like, now it's like, I got to get after this person. So you do whatever it takes, then it's all bets are off. But yeah, if it's a casual game, you're having fun, laid back. And there are times where I'm like, oh, I want to win. But it's like, no, it's just a card game. But when I start seeing other competitive people, that's it. The switch is on. Like Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance, I took that personal. So, all right, guys, I'm going to log off here only because 5 minutes live. Of course, the link is in the channel. It's not in the description, but let me just put on the Enter Studio. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do that yet because I got to hook up my mic. No, I think we agree, but just maybe different a few years or kids' development. Yeah, and I got news for you, Buana, real quick. That's not to say that I would be vigilant if I coach kids. Like, all right, if somebody dropped the ball, now you got to run the bases 14 times. No, of course, there's ways to, I don't want to say punish. No, I'd be fair. But at the same time, it's like, no, I want to teach fundamentals. I want to make sure to teach, no, this is how you execute a play, whatever it may be. It's not a thing where I'm going to run these kids to the ground because I don't want their parents coming after me. But, yeah, or if their parents, oh, why don't you let him, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. If it's the end of the year and you celebrate a season and you reward the team in some way, hey, guys, for your hard work, here's medals. All right. And I understand that maybe, they participated, whatever, and the team wasn't in first place. Maybe I want to give them a medal into something else. But that, exactly, it's about teaching. Because again, playing sports, to me, is a way to build for your future. That's not to say you're going to play in professional sports or collegiate sports, but life. Yeah. You want to be good at what you do? There's other people out there that are just as good, if not better than you. So you're going to have to level your game up. Or, not every year you're going to win a championship. Oh, so where's my medal? Or where's my MVP award? No, it's impossible. Elliot, Brian Callen. I know in NBA for MVP you need to get to that many games. 65. Yes. All right, guys. Yeah, I got to jump out here. So I'll see you in 4 minutes right here. Go to the link on the channel. Podcast. I won't get to your comments, questions until after, in about the 12 o'clock hour, my time. So hang tight. That's it. It's about teaching for kids about life, right? So, let me get my mic. I got to set up. The clock is ticking. I appreciate you all for hopping on board. Always a good time. Monday, the next podcast pregame, 9:45 a.m. Obviously, a lot about the tournament and much more. But stick around because the next live stream is coming at you in about 3.5 minutes. So, as always, love the support. Thank you for everything. Much appreciated. No, thank you, Buana. And until 3 minutes from now, on the flip.